That was close. I was like Exactly. Yeah, we've had a couple of very successful. Yeah. But that's going back to before me. But still.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, we're live, we're gonna go. All right, everybody, we're gonna start with I'm opening up the Glens Industrial Development Agency Board meeting. It is Friday, May 22nd. Our documents do say Thursday, May 14th, and we'd hope to meet that day, but scheduling, including my own, required us to reschedule, so thank you for that. We'll make sure that when the documents get posted that today's date is posted, but the meeting documents are posted on our website with this date, and they will remain the same. So we have a quorum. One member, Tim Larson, is missing today. Otherwise, all of us are here, and we're joined by our staff and our key advisors and consultants. And we have a new city official here with us, Allison Gaddy, and the mayor's going to introduce her.
Yes, I asked Allison to start joining these meetings just because her department is really focused on planning and zoning and development in our city, so it makes sense for her to be here. But Allison, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Allison Gaddy, Director of Planning and Zoning. I'm really excited to join us. I've lived in the city for, 8 years or so, and was previously the chair of the zoning board, so I'm pretty, I've been involved in a lot of these developments that have happened throughout the past couple of years. And we, as many of you probably know, we're about to adopt our comprehensive plan, which is also supposed to guide development. So if we can, make all of these things work together to improve our city, I think that'll be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
And I think we've all seen at least the early drafts of the comprehensive plan, and some of us even went to those meetings, but once that's finalized, maybe we can put it on our agenda and just go over it in a little bit of detail.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let me go to our administrative reports, approvals and resolutions. We'll start with the CEO report. Jeff, would you like to?
Yeah, just the quick explanation. Of course, we're having a meeting at an off time. This was because of the numbers last week, we couldn't get a quorum. We had originally tried to sort of push this back to next month, but because of the lack of a meeting last month, there were a couple of bills that were due that needed to be paid by the end of the month. There was a couple of, our insurance was going to expire if we didn't get them paid by the end of the month. Then I discovered, as we said, well, why don't we just set a meeting up so we can just get through the checks being paid, including the auditors, right, for all 4 agencies. So we're going to have all 4 meetings. Then I tried to sort of pare some things down, so we just got through this. We are scheduled for the 11th, so we will hopefully be able to get back on schedule there. But there's a couple of things that we'll table here for our purposes here. I know I sent everybody a draft copy of the RFP for the farm for someone to take over the operations. Karen had given me some feedback there, so I'm going to have to revise that. So hopefully, if you all have a copy of that, I'll send you the revised version. We can take that up, and hopefully we can get that sort of settled and put out prior to the next meeting or after the next meeting. So that's the one thing I want to sort of table off that of the down at number 4. Just another, as far as the IDA, we've also been in conversations with Foothills Builders, who are, as you probably know, has been on the back burner for a while, their project on Warren Street. They're trying to get that back up. So they have, hopefully we'll have an application from them to submit to the board for some support in the May meeting as well. So hopefully we can sort of get moving on that project. I'll talk about the other projects as we get down to the projects.
And we've got a lot underway, and I'm sure many of you drive by some of them and see them in person along the way, but there are 2 resolutions that we'll talk about in a few minutes to extend sales and use tax exemptions for 2 of our projects on South Street. So we'll get to that in a minute. So with that, let's do the let's do the minutes first. So we had our committee meetings held on March 19th. We also did our regular board meeting that day and in our annual meeting that day. And everyone has copies of those minutes. Are there any changes, any suggestions? If there are none, is there a motion to approve those 3 different sets of minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, motion is passed and we'll get those minutes posted. The financial reports, yes, as Jeff said, we did not meet last month after our annual meetings. And so we have financial reports for both the end of March and the end of April. Mark, you want to give us just a quick update on those?
Yeah, the only activity was Jeff's trip, the EDC conference, New York State for $563, farm internet for $109, and my hours in February for $425. That's it.
Did everything get posted to the state and to the governments for our audits?
Pardon, say that again?
Did everything get posted for our year-end
Yeah.
audits?
Once I got the certified audit back from Gene Lapper, I submitted the Paris reports. I think it was on March, whatever, late March. That was plenty of time, and put them all on the website, and that is it.
And I don't think we do a 990 for the IDA. Is there a 990 report for?
No.
Okay. LDC though.
And it was clean, the audit report for IDA was clean as it was for CDC and, and urban renewal, and I think there were maybe a couple items for LDC, but that was it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mark? There being none, there's 2 financial reports for us to post if they're approved for 3 months ending March 31st, 2026, and for 4 months ending April 30th, 2026. Any comments? There being none, is there a motion to approve the financial reports as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the financial reports are approved and will get posted. So the payment of bills is attached on Schedule A, and as Mark mentioned, there's quite a few bills there because we did not meet last month. And we did not have the audit bills even though we had their audits when we met at in March, we did not have their bills at that time, and so those are here as well. There's 8 bills for a total of $10,543.57. Any questions, comments, concerns? There being none, is there a motion to approve the payment of bills to Schedule A as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the motion is approved and we'll get those bills paid today. So let's go right to the next resolutions. 4556 South Street is the Patton Property Development LLC. And you have a copy of a letter from Chris Patton asking us to extend the project sales tax abatement through September 30th, 2026. The project has been coming along rather nicely in terms of its construction schedule, and units are starting to fill up. I don't know if we have an update on that, but I know some of the apartments and several of the commercial spaces are already filled, but not everything is done yet.
This extension essentially is to help to fit out the last 2 spaces. The residential is complete. The commercial, 3 of the 5 commercial spaces are already open. There's 2 retail spaces, Hometown. I was like, Hometown Inc.? No. And Floro's Mercantile, the latter of which we actually supported, and we'll be working through that, the reimbursement for them. Then there's a
Whiskey and Wine Bar.
no, the one that's
Floro's.
the teas hair. Sorry, I don't have hair, so I never remember things that talk about hair. That are already open. The last 2, or the first 2, I should say, relatively recently. And then there's 2 bars, bistros, what do you want to call them? One, Katie's Wine and Whiskey Bar, another one, Judd's Tavern. And this, the extension is to help with the fit out of those, or the completion of that work as far as the 4656. The residential, I'm told, is completely full.
Oh, it is now. So, last I heard from him, it was 18 of the 20, but now he's full.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just had a clarification question. So it sounds like, there's renters, so I'd be under the assumption that the applicant is getting revenue from that. I'm just curious what the purpose of extending a tax abatement on a project that is actively pulling revenue already.
When he applied, he gave us his 3 and 5 year projection. And income coming in was calculated in those projections. He still doesn't break even till year 5.
Okay. If anyone's had a view of, the assessments in the city, the commercial property assessments have gone way down compared to what the residential tax assessments have been. So I know this is sales tax, but just looking
Right.
at
Yeah, yes, so the bigger
benefits to
issue
the
is
city.
he's still probably buying materials
Okay.
and for those units that are not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he goes and buys those materials,
Okay.
that's what he's getting the sales tax exemption on.
Completion of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, so if he goes to buy paint or if he goes to buy, right, that's more or less what he's got
Okay.
here.
But yeah, so this is for units that are actively paying rent. So that I guess that's my
Well,
question.
technically,
He's getting-
these aren't, because the sales tax he'd be looking for would be the fit out of the
Fit out.
spaces that aren't finished.
Aren't they all? Okay. It sounds like.
So I guess, in other words, this extension is just an issue of timing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, the amount is already approved.
Okay.
So the amount was approved at the outset of when the application and budget and operating and expenses and all this was reviewed by the board. So the request is just the extension because it wasn't completed in the original time frame. And frankly, I don't know that we've ever had a project that's ever been completed in the time frame.
Timing is hard to
Yeah,
calculate.
so they almost always come back. I'm not sure if they have, grand plans. I say they because it's every project comes back for an extension, so it's not an unusual request.
Okay.
At the time, when they reach out to us about the extension, we also ask them, have your project costs gone up? Have you exceeded your sales tax original authorization? In this case, they said no, that they haven't reached what was originally approved, so the only request is to extend the time frame. It's not to increase for more than was already authorized. So these documents we submit to the state, all it is there's a box that we click that says extension, and that's the only change. Everything else remains the same, so the dollar amount remains the same that was originally approved at the outset.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
And there can always be times, even if the unit is occupied, that he's got to go back in and do something different or change something.
Oh, sure, but that's kind of the nature of being a landlord. So,
Yeah.
Right, after the project is done, if he needs to put a new refrigerator in 7
That's
units
not
a
him.
year
Right.
from now,
We're
that's
done.
not
Yeah,
him.
we're
It's-
done.
absolutely.
It's taxable,
Mhm.
etc.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that explanation. I think it's a good question, Allison, because other people have those questions
Yeah.
too, so it's nice to clarify it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
He also may not have all his bills yet too. That's another thing. He may have.
Yeah,
other
that's
things
a
that are-
common request for extension too. It's
It's-
done, but they don't have all the paperwork in from
Yeah,
their
paperwork.
vendors.
Right. So, okay. All right, so we have a similar, we can do these separately if you'd like. But the resolution, the next resolution is to extend the sales and use tax exemption for the Phase 1 Bonaccio development for 6 months until the end of this year. And that is more due to us and our space at 36 Inc. Jeff, do you want to go over that?
Yeah, just that the rest of the rest of the spaces in the 3 buildings are all complete. I think they have 1 or maybe 2 apartments left in 41 South that are still not rented. And of course, Sandy's, the former Sandy's, they're doing the fit out right now. That won't take them, they're just doing the white box fit out for that. They're still looking for a tenant. But that's all they're waiting for in that project, along with the 36 Inc., which we'll talk about when we get to the LDC.
Right, they haven't made that, to my knowledge, the request.
So
is only
6
through
months
September.
is September 30th, 26?
Yeah, he's got
I
it
was just
September
wondering.
30th, 2026.
That should probably work. I mean, if we could
It's
use,
correct,
did he
okay.
say 6 months to September 30th?
That's what I said.
I don't have it. I gave you guys all copies of
Till the end
Ross
of the
Lawn.
year,
Okay.
because that's the way I did the documents. Let me look, let me pull it up. Your card.
Yeah, because our resolution certainly is through 12/31.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we may have
I was
suggested that
confused.
basically because the time frame is probably ours more than it's theirs,
Okay,
meaning the fit out for 36 Inc.
okay.
But we're paying rent on 36 Inc. already, so it's not like it's a loss of income for him.
No, I'm just saying
It's
that
a
the
sales
sales
tax.
tax rebate is,
So it's not fitted out yet.
Has to do with the equipment.
and again, I don't believe the budget hasn't changed or the benefit
No.
hasn't changed, just the time frame.
Yeah, one of my concerns is just that, you know, the main usable part of 36, Elm for the city is the bathrooms, because we need
Yep.
those for the ed, and those are not complete. So we are paying rent on that space without usable bathrooms, and we're also paying to rent bathrooms for the ed. Which I have asked Jeff to ask them, you know, to expedite the completion of the bathrooms, because that's the main usable part of the space we are renting.
They are, and they're working right now. I was talking to Steve Liccardi yesterday, and they're trying to shoot for like June 20th, I think, to try and get the bathrooms done, or at least to get the bathrooms done. They're looking for the entire building by June 30th, is when they're looking for their CO.
Yeah. So at that point, we'll stop paying rent on extra bathrooms, but, yeah.
So do you want to,
Well, so in his email, he asked for 6 months, and that's where we went with that, and then this letter came over with through September. I mean,
Is there any harm in extending through December 31st to us in terms of it's a sales tax exemption extension? So if otherwise he'll be back here in September
Yeah.
asking for one
Yeah.
through December. So,
particularly if it's the space that we're renting and we're,
right. So if we grant it through December 31st, I feel there's no harm, no foul to anyone.
especially if the fit up is for the city, if they pass that bill along, the city's tax exempt anyway, so.
all right. So I'm gonna recommend that we follow the language in the agenda, which is December 31st, 2026. Any further discussion? Any concerns? There being none, there's 2 resolutions extending sales tax exemptions before us, one for 4556 South Street and one for the Phase 1 Bonaccio development. Is there a motion to approve? There are 2 resolutions.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? There being none, the motion is carried, and we'll get those documents processed. I think we have them here.
Mhm.
Any other administrative reports or resolutions, Jeff?
No, I was going to briefly talk about the project reports if you.
You're moving on?
So we'll move on to the project reports, and let's start with 47 Luzerne Road.
Yeah, they're still moving forward. The
Okay.
construction is going apace. They're looking at late summer, hopefully to be open. So that's a nice project that's moving along. 76 Lawrence, they're doing bids right now. I just talked to Tyler Fronte a couple days ago. So they're hoping to get started by maybe as early as the beginning of next month with the 76 Lawrence project. And 178 Maple, I also talked to Brian Green. They're hoping to have residents in there by September.
Really?
He seemed to imply or suggest that they were looking at floor by floor. Can they do that? Can you get occupancy floor by floor?
Yeah. There's no elevator in that building.
There is not.
Yeah.
Well, there's an old freight elevator,
I
but
want
at any rate, maybe he was talking about the way they're constructing, but he's looking at September, hopefully for occupancy in that building as well.
Interesting.
They're there frequently, I do.
Yeah, no, they're doing a lot of work in there.
Okay. And then, we're moving Smart Farm RFP discussion.
Yeah, we'll
to
table that
June.
until June 11th.
Okay, very good. Any other business? There's no need for an executive session, I don't believe. So,
Could I suggest, as Kara had suggested in our email conversation about getting Mark's bills paid in a timely manner,
Yes.
could we pursue a resolution that allows for contract payments to be made in a monthly manner without ado? I mean, I don't mean that we take action on that today, but I would like us to at least pursue making sure we can operate normally regardless of our personal schedules.
so, we have contracts in place with, Mark and with, Jeff, and they do have, dollar amounts, recorded in those. So we do not have, Mark's time for, May yet, but you're right, it would be nice to be able to pay him.
And pay our insurance.
Well, yeah, without, yeah, well,
Right.
Yeah, the insurance
It's the
is like
standard
the-
contracts that we have that require monthly payments.
That's right,
We could
on
just,
time.
we could just add to our annual meeting a resolution that the contract payments be made.
Once they, yeah, because you've already approved the contract, so
Right.
short of a breach of the agreement, which we would all know that there was some
Right.
breach and, you know, that money is due, like with the audits
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, at the city, I know this isn't this, we're not governed by exactly the same rules, but we can pay manually routine
Routine.
Right.
utility
Yeah.
bills and contracts exceeding like a year or more that
Yeah.
are predictable.
Mhm.
Anything unusual should be approved by us,
Sure.
or unexpected, but I think that's.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like the internet bill, that's
Yeah.
standard every month,
Right.
but you know, if you're incurring a penalty because we don't
Right.
meet, that's.
Right,
Well,
ridiculous.
yeah, and I think, without respect to the individual things, things like the insurance, if we had not been able to get a meeting or do something,
Right.
we would not have had
SOL.
insurance by the end of the
Right.
month.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, certainly
So-
if you're gonna put it up for RFP, then it would come back if you're
Sure.
if you're gonna put it back out for a bid, but I believe when you select one, you're locked in for the year on that,
Correct.
right?
That is correct.
So I suggest that at our annual meeting, when we put together our budget for the year, and we have some of those numbers already, that we pass a resolution at that time authorizing this. We can do that today if you'd like, because we didn't do it back in March.
Right.
But, we did pass the budget, and it does have these contracts and these expenses in there.
So I would suggest we do that just because summer is coming and you know how that's gonna be trying to get a quorum. So why be held up by that, for known expenses? So I would make that motion.
Do you wanna make that motion and be specific about the contracts if you'd like? Let's get that in there, so.
Well, I would prefer that Mark give us a list of the contracts that are predictable monthly.
So
So
we'll
we'll
do
take
this in
it
June?
in June.
So we'll take this up in June, Mark, we'd like a list of.
The bills you need to know you can pay,
That,
okay?
That's kind of a rare, without the meeting last month, it's kind of a rarity. In August, I can predict, obviously, what has to be paid early,
so we'll work on that and we'll get something ready for June.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
All right,
John, could you pass the tissue?
any other business? Okay, so our, next meeting will be, Thursday, June 11th, at 8 a.m. At this location, and unless there's any change, that's it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned, thank you. Okay.
Switch documents.
Yeah,
Right,
let's
I'm
go
trying,
to
yeah.
the Glens Civic Development Corporation Board meeting. Once again, we have a quorum and our key staff and advisors are here with us. And the meeting date will be changed on the documents from May 14th to May 22nd. The administrative reports, I'll turn it right over to you, Jeff.
I have done. We just have bills to pay.
Okay, well, why don't we go through that then? Okay. So, the minutes are from the annual meeting held on March 19th. Both the committee meetings, the annual meeting, and the regular meeting that were held that day. Everyone's got copies of those minutes. Are there any changes? Any questions? There being none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? There being none, the motion is passed and the minutes will get posted. So we have a financial report from, for 4 months ending April 30th, 2026. Mark, you want to summarize that for us and give us an update on the balance?
Yeah, we had, just my hours for February, $637, annual insurance for our liability, basically for Tech Meadows, $11,780, annual disability payment for $190, and 3 months of rent at 36 Inc. for $24,261. And again, the Paris reports were in on time. It's been 2 months now, no question on,
Figure
We're
to-
doing
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah,
LDC,
yeah,
and we're
yeah.
doing CDC.
We're doing Civic Development Corporation. Civic?
oh, I'm sorry, I can't hear, ear infection plus pneumonia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
CDC, there's been no activity whatsoever.
I wondered, I was like.
I'm looking at it.
I know, me too.
Okay, so we have bills from our audit, but do we have the deposit?
Yes, we have. Yeah, I don't know if it reflects that. I'll confirm that with Wendy, but yes, we have the approval for the transfer of the funds from the city to the
Have the
CDC.
funds been transferred?
I believe so. Do you know if those been checking, the transfer been
They're
made?
to be transferred versus a check?
Did we get a, we might get a check if we have.
I've not seen anything yet.
Okay. So we're gonna hold this off until we have that transfer.
We sure did.
So June.
Yep, okay. All right. There's no other business to come before the Civic Development Corporation at this time. We'll hold this off until June, and any other business, anybody have any issues here? There being none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Okay, Mayor, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay,
LDC, I think.
yep. I will open the Greater Glens Falls Local Development Corporation meeting. The first item is the minutes. Did anyone have any comments or concerns about the minutes? Any changes? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved. Now we go to financial reports. We have a 3-month report and a 4-month report.
Sorry about that.
Right.
We got a sneak peek earlier.
February hours for myself, 637. Annual liability insurance for $11,780. Disability coverage for the year, $190, and 3 months of rent, 36 Inc., $24,261.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Does anyone have any questions, comments on the financial reports? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are approved. Next, we'll go to the payment of bills.
There they are.
Mark?
No, it's just there.
Any? Do you have any comments on the bills list?
so 2 of my months, March and April hours, Jeff's first quarter CEO wage, 1 month of rent for Bonaccio, $8,087, one Fitzgerald bill, $182, workers' comp for the annual, $285, Watts audit for $5,250, Anderson's audit for $1,800, Chubb insurance for $1,772, so a grand total of $20,904 and 78 cents.
Okay. So do we, I guess we need a motion to approve payment of bills?
Yeah, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those are approved. The next item is insurance coverage for 36 Inc.
Yeah, Mark, with that about I believe we got the insurance rescinded or reduced for the 36 and as well for the property that, the Tech Meadows property, correct?
Yeah,
Do we have numbers on that? Do we know what that reduction was offhand?
it was like, I think it was basically about $1,200.
Yeah.
And then, and as far as the property of Tech Meadows, there was they schedule inspections every year, and I said to my contact at Gallagher, I don't recall an inspection over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So I called up the contact, the inspector, Julie LaBelle, and we just chatted about, what the coverage is, which is basically land, on the border of Queensbury and Glens Falls. And she said, oh, maybe we don't need anything, let me just check with my boss, as far as this virtual inspection, and that's the last I heard, that was 2 weeks ago. And I called Gallagher back and I said, as far as you people demanding an inspection, we tried, but this is where it stands right now, and I've not heard back from them either. So at this point, I think we're good to go as far as that.
Right, but we did get the insurance reduced because of taking 36 Inc. and the Crew Coffee parcel off of our insurance.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that? Okay. So the next item is a resolution for Adirondack Fabrication Services, Adirondack Mechanical Services on Pines Island.
So this is a new business that just moved from another part of the state, not too far away, but was looking for another location, needed a bigger space, had been sort of sniffing around Glens Falls for a little while from my conversations with them. They've settled on one of the 2 previously vacant warehouses. That one's not quite a warehouse space, but basically. The warehouse space is on Pines Island, the one's right next to, right after you get to ABC Supply. So these are the ones that were previously owned by Claude Charleboy, now owned by his daughter. And they're moving in. They're bringing in about 50 people to begin with and are looking to grow from there. I believe they're already underway. One of the things that we had talked about as part of the small business support program, there's a resolution in your packet if you haven't seen it yet, is they are looking for some equipment purchases, pretty large. I mean, 6 figures, not even low 6 figures necessarily. We decided to try and see if we could get them to sort of pull forward their schedule for doing that. And one of the ways we did that was by sort of offering to help support them maybe through the small business support program. So the resolution calls for about $40,000, about maximum of $40,000, on what is probably going to be closer to a $200,000 purchase. So it's a pretty small proportion. What this is going to do, from the conversations that I had, they really have sort of 3 different companies that are operating under the sort of the same, in the same building. They're the company that is sort of purchasing this equipment, and this is really for what they call a press brake, and they gave me a cut sheet I can share with everybody if you want, but it's one large piece of equipment that they're looking to order. One of the reasons I wanted to get it on this agenda was because they're looking to order it before the end of the month, so they can get this going. This should increase their employee count for this entity, this Adirondack Fabrication Services, from 3 to 9 in the next year. So and they estimated their payroll for those would go from about $4,000 to $12,000 a week. So it sounded like a good opportunity for us to sort of support. We've done a lot of support for a lot of these small businesses downtown. It's been really well received. But it's nice to get some sort of industrial suppliers, especially people who are working in some of these empty spaces we've had. These 2 warehouses have been empty for quite a while. So it's great to get some, fill out the spaces down on Pines Island.
What are they making?
It's metal fabrication, different kinds of sheet metal fabrication. They're, yeah, and this is a sort of a new line, this Adirondack Fabrication Services, as opposed to they have Adirondack Mechanical and Adirondack Management are the other two entities that they have all sort of under the umbrella under this one.
And they're not doing a lot of manufacturing like on site. They indicate that most of their work is done in the field. They're just having this like home office where
Yeah.
they can do that stuff. So
Jeff, what do they sign at the time of for the grant? Like, or the funding?
They just fill out an application, looking with a,
So there's a, I raised, it would be nice for us to have some protection of our investment in that particular piece of equipment. So if we could
Because of the
file a
liability
UCC
involved.
one on that, it would cost us $40 to file it, but it would at least then wherever that piece of equipment goes, our interest is, they have to clear our interest with us before they can sell it, before they can dispose of it, etc. It just gives us a little bit of something. So if you,
okay, so they should, we
it's
or they should
simple and they
file.
will know exactly what it is. It's a very simple document.
So we or they would file this.
We can file,
We
we
can
can
file.
file it electronically.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not a,
I can coordinate with you.
Okay,
thank you.
yeah, and I can get all this done before they order anything. It's not as if.
Okay, so there is a resolution, are we tabling it pending that then, is that?
Oh, no, we can do that at the time of funding,
we
so
can do
we're
that,
fine.
So we're okay
Yeah.
to move forward, okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion and include in it the document that, we just, said that we would, handle ourselves.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. It's nice to see an expansion of manufacturing and another big employer in the
Yep.
city, so it's great. All right, next we go to project reports and resolutions. So 36 Inc.
You want to go? Do you want me to? So the mayor and I, of course, as you know, we put out a request for an operator. The city and the LDC put out a request for someone to operate both the ED and 36 Inc. We've met several times with prospective operators. We've made some decent progress on the ED. I think we're looking for a proposal. Hopefully we'll get a proposal maybe even this week. I know it's Friday. The challenge has been that they're really sort of two separate entities with two sort of skill sets required to try and make these two different facilities work. Been a little more challenging with 36 Inc. We've had some constructive conversations with a couple of prospective people. I can't say we're close to an agreement, but I think the more we talk to people, the more we can sort of try and figure out what it is people are looking for. One of the challenges we've had is trying to figure out, what kind of support people need. As you know, we sort of reduced the space down to the white box design. The idea being that if you find an operator that wants to do X or Y or Z, and those aren't prescriptive, then we have some flexibility, as do they, to try and sort of build out the space the way it sort of fits them. The question now is trying to get someone who can come up with not only the vision, but to be honest with you, sort of a clear idea of what kind of support they need, both from the city and or the LDC. So that's really we're sort of juggling these a little bit, but hopefully we'll have some actionable momentum here that the board can address.
Yeah,
Fairly
we
soon.
started out meeting with the interested parties separately, and then they have complementary skill sets, so we brought them together to see if there was maybe perhaps a coalition type approach that we could take, and I think that's where we are right now, where the parties are talking to each other, and then we should be hearing back soon. So, it's It's a big undertaking for anybody, I think, and the ed in particular, we're very close to having, I think, a pretty complete proposal. The 36 Elm piece is, I think, a little more challenging because whoever we talk to has to figure out, what we're asking for them is, please be clear on what you're asking us for, right? Do you need help with equipment? Do you need help with the fit out? Are you looking for a phased in lease payment? You know, there's different ways we can be creative, and I think we're just kind of trying to work through those details at this point. So we'll keep you updated as we go. But we did have 3 interested parties.
Yeah, that's
So that's
encouraging.
something.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
it's very encouraging.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions about that? Okay, K's Boba Tea. These next 3 are all projects that the LDC has agreed to support. Already, we'll get the documentation for those by the next meeting. K's Boba Teas, I believe they opened today, or maybe
think so.
today. I went to their sort of quiet opening. They had a little private, soft celebration, whatever you want to call it. Had some samples of things on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, around 5:30. They already have employees. They're ready to go. This young couple, they're really wonderful people to get down on South Street because they're the kind of people that came from Plattsburgh. You know, they had been looking for other locations. They heard about Glens Falls. You know, that we gave them support with a couple small pieces of equipment that were sort of distinct to their business. So they're doing very well. Floro's Mercantile also opened earlier this month, I believe. That's the clothing store that's right across from the Ed, right in the middle of the building we were talking about before. So that's a women's clothing store, very nice inside there, and of course the owners are Frank and Allie. She's the one of the owners, or the children of the owners at the New Way Lunch. So one of the Gazettas Minio. Gazettas
So
Minio,
old.
yes.
You're even older. Just saying.
And incidentally, as the mayor, I think, mentioned yesterday in some context, their space is the space that the original New Way Lunch was located in way back when, which is really cool.
I went to their soft opening, and it's beautiful inside. I bought a shirt, it was great. But in their dressing room, they have pictures of Allie's grandmother and her sister, and it's really kind of a tribute to what the space used to be. It's really nice. Nice piece of history for Glens Falls.
It's great, yeah. Be a good addition down to the South Street quarter. And then Paul's Guitar Hideout is the retail and studio store that's being opened inside the shirt factory. So that's a business that the board has already agreed to support as well. He's gathering together some equipment, mostly equipment related to the recording portion of this, where you can people can go and set up like podcasts, and they can do their own recording, both for music. He's going to have lessons. It's going to be a retail guitar store as well. So he's moving forward there, hoping. He was telling me he thought he might be open by the end of the month as well. I don't know if that's the case, but we're sort of working with them. And again, for all 3 of these, we should have, we're going to work through all the documentation to make sure we have all the stuff to get them reimbursed for the SPS support we have for them.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other business?
Just one other thing I want to update people. I'll just wait for the time when the other business. Cash Vest. You might remember we've been talking about trying to do get the investment to try and get some revenue or income interest from our cash, essentially, that's sitting around in bank accounts right now, making as close to zero possible. So the 2 things Wendy Baird, I've been talking to her. Apparently, as the city controller, she's the one that can provide access to Alex to take a look at the accounts. Meanwhile, I had a call with Whitney Berger. I'm not staring at you.
No, I know.
No reason. But she was going to contact you upon your return because apparently you can, as one of the signatories, to get the to open up an ICS account. The ICS account is sort of the money market but protected fund, right? So the FDIC insured collective fund, so that you have instantaneously available interest making funds, as opposed to, we've been trying for a while to sort of navigate the whole CD thing. There might still be some role for that, but once we get this ICS account open, we can have a Cash Vest or 3+1, I think their name is. They can then look and give us a proposal for how to sort of measure our cash flow, particularly I would say in the case of the LDC, which has a substantial amount of money, but also has expenses that sort of flow in and out, and they'll give us a proposal on how we can sort of maximize our revenue from that.
So the issue's been that they haven't gotten access yet?
I believe they have access, but they can't do anything. He had just suggested we open
It
up
was
the
view
ICS
only, so
from
for Cash Vest, it was view
Correct.
only access to all the accounts. But if we need to open a specific type of account, we're gonna need a motion and an approval to do that.
Okay, I will say on the city end, they redid our proposal, and Wendy, our controller, moved money into these accounts, and in 3 weeks, we earned $16,000 from making those changes, just in 3 weeks. And I'm sure it's more, that was a couple weeks ago when she gave me that update, so it is a big difference. The city's also under state audit, and one of the things that they dinged us for from last year was that we didn't have enough money in investment accounts and weren't making enough interest, so this is really good progress. So I'm sure it'll be the same for our accounts here.
Interesting that they're concerned about that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And which organizations' accounts?
Exactly.
The IDA and the LDC are the two that we're looking at. Neither of the other agencies have.
Have any money yet?
Maybe,
Right,
maybe
yeah,
urban renewal could, but the IDA has substantial assets. I mean, and one of the challenges you have with that one is that we've had some difficulty sort of trying to come up with a cadence for CDs where they're going to, mature at the right time. It may well be that the interest rates are marginally higher, but I think the ability to sort of access money immediately, you could transfer instantaneously, means that you can keep every dollar that you don't need right now in these ICS accounts.
Right.
And so, as near as I could tell, and Alex will sort of confirm this, but it'll overwhelm, because we still have to hold a decent amount of money outside of the CDs so that we can sort of pay these bills when they don't come due.
Right.
So,
If you have the time, you can move stuff in for a day and move it back out.
yeah,
It's like,
right,
it's like
exactly.
that.
So, it seems like it's pretty much a no-brainer. And, the LDC, for the time being, has a substantial amount of money, sitting in a couple of different accounts.
So does it make sense for me to get all that information from Whitney and bring it to the next June meeting so we have specifics on what we're actually doing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get the paperwork and all the information, and I'll have that for.
Okay.
so just procedurally, so I understand, every time we move money from an account, we need,
This sounds like we're opening a new account.
No, this is like,
Okay.
Mark and I wouldn't able to open these.
Right.
okay.
It had to be somebody who's a signer on the account.
Okay, but then once we establish those new accounts, if, let's say we needed to move money back and forth,
Mark would be able to
can
do that.
do that, we won't have to wait for, okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because this works best, I think, when you have cash flow that you can move between
Yeah.
accounts, yeah.
And I think last year we made modifications already.
Yeah.
We made modifications to the investment policy
Yeah.
to allow for
Investment.
you guys to
Right.
make certain changes
Okay.
outside of a meeting too, so.
Okay,
For that reason,
Yeah.
yeah.
good. Good. I guess, Mark, you also sat in on the presentation with Jeff, and you saw their portal and how they track it, so do you feel like that'll be helpful for us to see? Yeah, it's very nice once we get a history, because, they show you, how did you do last year, this time last year, this month last year, you can compare, and it'll help us track things nicely too. Yeah.
We may want to create an investment policy that we will annually update, and we can do that too. We can take a look at that.
We have an investment
We
policy.
have
Yeah.
one policy.
We already have one?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, good.
Or we can update it.
All right.
We'll pull that out and maybe we'll update it next month, but at the same time we set up the bank account. Okay. If needed. Maybe it doesn't need to be updated.
It's always good to review policies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see any need for executive session today. Does anyone have anything? No? Okay, so then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Just urban renewal bills.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll open the Glens Falls Urban Renewal Agency meeting. And this should be a brief meeting. We have minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, those are approved. Financial report, 4 month ending April 30th.
Similar to CDC, no activity.
Okay. Would, is there a motion to approve the no activity financial report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are approved. Payment of bills.
Just the two audits for Anderson and Lutz, a total of $5,250.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the payment of the bills for the audits?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are approved. Any other business? Seeing none, and there's no need for executive session, I will take a motion to adjourn.
My favorite.
Second.
I will second her favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Wow, an hour. Awesome. Nice work, folks.
Yeah, to make it through all four of them. Of course, it was 58 and a half minutes.
What do we got?